Joining us now on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline is Kendrick Perkins of ESPN and ABC. How you doing, Kendrick?
I'm doing well. Appreciate y'all having me.
No,
likewise.
Appreciate you coming on. I was just going to say that you have expressed some doubts about this team over the last couple of months and years about various things, play style. I think last week you said watching their offense makes you sick, coaching, etc. And I guess my question is, have you seen anything from them in the last couple of weeks that have erased any of those doubts?
Well, I mean, obviously the play of Jaylen Brown, Derek White as well, and the stops by Drew Holiday. Jason Tatum has finally put his name, in my opinion, as one of the best players in the world. But the criticism was, I didn't feel like it was wrong. Just thinking on the past, the Celtics have dropped the ball. When I've put all my trust and jumped out on the limb and jumped off on the porch and said, oh, yeah, this year the Celtics are going to get it done, they haven't got it done yet. So I can't believe in them until they actually complete the mission.
What's your biggest concern?
Well, my biggest concern is, one, I want to see how Kristaps Porzingis look, because I do feel like if he's not back on the floor, I don't expect him to look 100%. If he do, that would be shocking to me. But if he's 75% and he's back on the floor and he look as if he has his rhythm, then I got the confidence. I'll be way more confident than what I am, because I feel like whether they play the Dallas Mavericks or the Minnesota Timberwolves, it's looking like the Mavs. But I feel like Kristaps Porzingis definitely has to be be on the floor in order for them to win it all. I really do. I think he's the most important player to that team for what he brings on both ends of the floor.
Really? So you don't think they could beat Dallas or Minnesota without Kristaps Porzingis?
No, I don't. I think you need him. You need that. He's 7'2". He's 7'2" for a reason. Okay, he stretched the floor. When it comes down to rim protection, I think this has been one of his best years. And not only just blocking shots, but altering shots. And you need that when you're facing a team like the Dallas Mavericks or especially the Minnesota Timberwolves. You need that guy. Not saying that Al Horford can't get it done, but still at the end of the day, you need a guy with the size and the athleticism, especially when you're going against guys like Rudy, Karl Anthony Towns, athletic Derek Lively, and Daniel Gafford. You got to have some type of presence at the basket. When you have rim guys that love to attack the rim as well, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Edwards, the list goes on.
Kendrick, let me ask you a question I asked someone else recently in the same way that I asked it. The Celtics all year have been championship or bust. That simple. If they get Porzingis back and they were to lose to either Dallas or Minnesota, why do you think that they would lose?
Why would I think they would lose?
Yeah, right.
Obviously because the other team just played better, right? It's going to come down. Listen, it's at the end of the day, it's going to come down to your superstars taking you home, right? So just for example, if Jaylen Brown, if the Celtics happen to match up against Dallas, it's going to come down to Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum outplaying Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. It's the same way we're looking at it right now. Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards finally outplayed both of those guys, and the Minnesota Timberwolves finally got a win, right? So we're talking about the best of the best all across the board. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum just came out of a series where they both were averaging 30-plus, right? They're going to have to elevate a little bit more, especially when you talk about going against the likes of a Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Now, this is what I got to ask you guys, right? Because y'all, I know the whole Boston fan base, and by the way, I'll be up there next week, just an FYI.
Can't wait.
But so everybody's been so upset with me because I've been putting these high expectations and being critical of the Celtics. But the last time I checked, the 8.5 years that I played for Boston, the expectations were never mediocre or just good. It was always to be great and hang banners, right?
Kendrick, I wanted to talk to you about this because I think, I have a lot of respect for the way you handle your job. Very rare to have an ex-player in your spot who's willing to be critical of the players he played with, the team he played for, and tell it like it is, how he sees it. And you do that. I think it's excellent. And yet I feel you get a lot of pushback here in Boston. And I just, I wanted to ask you about that. Like, what you're giving this commentary because the expectation is at the highest level. So do you feel that there's something here that I don't know? Are you surprised that you get the pushback that you get around here when you're just expecting them at the highest level because that's where they're at?
Well, this is what the people have to understand, and I appreciate you. The people have to understand is this, right? I don't work for the Boston Celtics. Now, my heart will forever be with the Celtics, but I don't work for the Boston Celtics. So, as part of doing my job for the national media and covering the entire league, I do have to go on television and talk and speak on how I feel, and it has to come from a real authentic place. I cannot be a homer on television, right? I can't do it. And so, look, do I want the Celtics to win and hang banner number 18? Hell yeah, I do. Well, was I one of the first ones to say something along the lines of, hey, soon as Jason Tatum, started hitting that mark where he was one of the up-and-coming young superstars, it's on record, I said it. Sign him to a Patrick Mahomes deal. Jaylen Brown, max him out, right? Like, I've been on record applauding and praising these young guys. So for me to be critical because the expectations is championship or bust, yes, I'm going to critique them, right? But it's not like I'm rooting against them. One of my guys that I won a championship with, one of my Mbutu big brothers is on that sideline, Sam Cassell. I talk to him on the regular. Why would I be rooting against him?
They've gotten soft around here, Kendrick.
Okay.
They have. I'm just telling you. They've gotten soft. It's gotten soft, which is, I don't know if it's part of the problem, but it's part of the situation. Let me ask you just a few more basketball things. You've, again, expressed doubts about their offense or not like the way that they've played offensively, the three-point shooting, etc. Does that worry you going forward?
It would worry me if you said what now for the Celtics?
Yes, sir.
It does a little bit for the simple fact that the reason that I'm so critical of their three-point shooting and them shooting so many threes is because you got Jason Tatum, you got Jaylen Brown, but let's circle Jason Tatum for a minute. Last year, I can remember it was a point that it was two guys for us at that position, like wing, 6'9", 6'10" guys that like were dominating for us, attacking at the basket. And we had Jason Tatum named in the same conversation with Giannis. So it's like when you think about Jason Tatum, when he's polarizing and he's dominant, the Celtics are so much better, right? They look unbeatable. But when Jason Tatum is in his finesse bag, it's kind of like, you're giving the team hope. All of a sudden you drop a game. But when Jason Tatum is at his best and he getting downhill and attacking, getting to the free throw line, playing with that passion, yelling, doing whatever he is, those emotions, is just a different Jason Tatum. So, yes, sometimes does it make my skin crawl when they shoot so many damn threes? Yes, but it's been successful for them thus far. I don't know if it's going to continue, if they happen to match up with the Mavs or Minnesota. I'm not saying they're not the better team. All I'm saying is that now you're in the finals, things get a little bit more difficult.
So, Kendrick, do you think Tatum wants to play that way? In other words, the offense is one thing, how they play stylistically, but how do you think in his heart of hearts Tatum wants to play?
Well, I think he should mix it up. Like, over the last, two games, game 3 and 4 against Indiana, we saw a mixture of it, right? It was almost like a gumbo. He had a mixture, or should I say clam chowder. That's what we eat when we go to Boston. Gumbo is down south. But it was a mixture, right? It was a combination of everything. It was the threes. It was getting to the rack, dunking the basketball. It was the post-up. It was the, first step blow by you. It was the fadeaways from, the midi, getting into his Jordan and Kobe package. So it was a mixture. Also getting to the free throw line. That's the Jason Tatum you want to see.
Kendrick, Anthony Edwards or Jason Tatum?
Man, why you put me on the spot like this?
That's what we do.
Okay, well, I'll say this then. When it comes to a complete offensive package, it's Jason Tatum all day. Now, if I got to go all-around player and best leader, I got to go with Anthony Edwards.
Do you wish Tatum had some of those qualities?
Yeah, y'all do as well. That's why y'all asking. Look, that's why y'all asking me this. And look, you know, like Anthony. Let me say this about Anthony Edwards, right? Because to each his own. But Anthony Edwards is just one of one, right? Like he's it's every former player that I talk to, everyone has the same praise for him, right? Just his old school mentality. Like people criticized him for saying, "Oh, I got Kyrie Irving." I thought that's what we wanted. Whether Kyrie busts his you know what or whatever, I thought that's what we wanted. This is what the game been missing. And then when you hear him in his post game interviews, like he walks around with a level of confidence that you love because it's not arrogant. It's a level of confidence, right? It's a certain type of swagger. It's a certain type of leadership. You hear him getting on Karl Anthony Towns saying, "Stop fouling." And he's dead serious. You hear him telling his team, "Hey, man, we got to pick it up. We got to rebound." He's on the sideline, mic'd up, showing Rudy Gobert how to set a damn screen, right? Like, he's just an emotional leader. And to be honest with you, he's the best young leader in the game. I've never seen a guy that has an old soul like that at the age of 22 years.
So did you leave that last game of the Western Conference Finals thinking that he and the Timberwolves figured something out against Dallas? They can make this a series?
Oh, they're going to win Game 5 tonight. I know that much. This series going back to Dallas for Game 6. I don't see Anthony Edwards letting them come into his home and win a Game 5. We saw what happened. I just want people to remember what happened, and that was in a game. Was it a Game 5? Yeah, Game
Denver?
5. Huh?
The Denver series?
Yeah, it was Game 6, I believe it
Game
was.
6, yeah.
You remember what happened in Game 6 in that must-win situation?
Blowout.
You remember he had Jokic over there with a stale face? I mean, he got his swagger back. And I love the adjustment that they made putting him on Luka Doncic. He's not going to stop Luka, but it's a lot different playing against Luka than it is Kyrie because of the pace that Kyrie Irving plays with.
Does Joe Mazzulla concern you, Kendrick, from the Celtics side?
Well, you know what? I got a lot more respect for Joe Mazzulla because my whole thing, why I was so hard on Joe Mazzulla, is that I said at the bare minimum, I need to see him get this team where Ime Udoka had this team at one point. And Ime Udoka got this ball club with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to the finals, and Joe Mazzulla has done the same thing. So he's earned my respect.
Okay. Kendrick, how come we don't see you on NBC Sports Boston anymore? We love your spots there. I loved your commentary there. I miss you there. What happened?
Well, I mean, ESPN started working me a little bit more, so I couldn't fully commit. But you know what? I might make a few surprise visits on there while I'm in Boston.
Okay, so it wasn't them saying we don't want you, because I get concerned because sometimes when people tell a little too much like it is, Celtics fans can't handle it, and I was worried about that with you and them.
But imagine, you know what I'm saying? Imagine them kicking, you know, a guy that helped deliver Banner 17 off the set. They can't do that.
That's what
they could get mad. They could get mad at me at times, but they get over it.
Hey, don't they want people to give their opinions and tell it like it is and do that thing? Like that's what we're doing here, right?
No.
But look, here's the thing, right? And I want to say this again. I'm not rooting against the Celtics. That's not what it is. But I don't work for the Celtics, so I can't be a homer. If I see something I don't like, whether people agree with me or not, I got to call it out. And the Celtics are not the only team that I criticize.
Does it disappoint you that Celtics fans seem to have, or some Celtics fans have shut you out or whatever, taken you on?
No, I'm not losing any sleep. You know why? Because the same Celtic fans that call themselves mad at me on the internet be the same Celtic fans when they see me in person saying, "Hey, Perk, we love you so much." Well, they don't mean no harm.
You're kind of imposing. You got some size to you. No one's going to do that to your face. Oh, but Kendrick, do you have the Celtics winning it all, or what? Who do you got winning it all?
I do. I got them winning it all. I got whatever team they match up against. I think, you know, if they play the Dallas Mavericks, I think it goes to Game 7. If they play the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think it goes to Game 6. But I do have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, you know, hanging banner number 18 up in the Raptors.
Okay, Kendrick, thank you so much for taking the time. We really do appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all having me.
Okay, we'll see you next week, hopefully, when you're up here.
All right, thanks.
Okay, Kendrick Perkins there.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Celtics analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.